So you need to sit with your group. Looks like everyone, and Rachel, you need to sit with your group. No, I know. So I'll need you all in a row. Okay, for those of you who have done the forms and are in your groups, go ahead and pull up your reading log. What I'm going to ask you to do is have one person come up and write that claim on the board, right? So I'll put group 1, 2, 3, all the way through 8. Have you write that claim, and then we'll just briefly talk about why you thought that was the most important claim out of what you read, and as a group together. Alright, let's see what people said. So we talked about group work, and we talked about citation work, and we talked about ways to cite work in this reading log, right? So group 1 said making sure your group's ideas. Group 1, what do we mean by organized? How keep your ideas organized? Group 2, you need to make sure everyone's sources are credible, avoid wikis. Anything else you want to say about that? So that's kind of something I'm hearing as a trend, right? And so a way of sharing notes could be something like through Google Docs, email, something like that. Okay, thank you. So I think that this is a good way to segue into our project 3. Someone want to read this?
I will.
Right, decisions. So almost every line in here, there's another decision that you as a group will have to make, right?
On this subject. Put this research into the research
to your genre. So here are the 5 things that you're going to need to submit to actually get a grade for this project. The first one is your draft. So here's one example. If I was going to do this project, here's one way that I could present it. Right?
Why are we changing maps?
Because, CJ, the Mercator projection has fostered European imperialist attitudes for centuries and created.
All right. That's one example about something that we take for granted, right? Or something that the society. What I did is I thought, okay, if I was using this as a project, what kind of research would I do? The second example that I wanted to give about flipping concepts is the idea of men proposing to women. So there already are 2 flipped concepts, so it's not going to actually let me, let me do this. Okay, so those are 2 ways that we could flip that concept, right? Who would be an audience that we would address this kind of research? Unmarried people, wedding coordinators. That's like a really good idea. I didn't even think of that. What kind of genre would we present this information in? Okay, so now we need to do some research on this to show this isn't just our idea or other people are talking about it, or here's what other search terms would we use? That makes sense how I'm kind of thinking through this. This is the kind of thinking I wanted to model for you guys so that when you go to do it on your own, you kind of have that idea. All right, let's go through the last few slides here, and then I'm going to have you do some work on your own. Here are some resources to help you start thinking through concepts. Finally, here are some kinds of different audience ideas and different genre ideas. Okay, questions about this third project. The project, or the in-class writing for today, you'll do this as a group, and you'll submit it as a group. I want you to start to do some very preliminary thinking with your group as far as what you want to use this project for, how you want to do this project. Come up with 4 possible. These could easily change. You could use one of them, you could use none of them, you could kind of combine 2 of them. Concepts, ideas, genres that you could maybe use for this project.
That skating might not be a great career. You can say why you think skating is.
I don't understand how like football players like they do finals. Like we have a game the 5th of
general like society. Yeah.
Just like a question that could help you think through. So you don't have to answer it, but just like
It's you gotta refresh it and go to the thing.
Finding genre possibilities. Yeah.
So yeah, for you guys and for Reese and Joe, you'll need to get in contact with your third group member to talk about how you're going to set up. Take like 2 more minutes and just get as far as you can on your document. But like, what would be the point? Right? Like what would you be trying to get across?
Maybe women who can't conceive.
Let's come back together as a group.
So you guys sure you want to do this?
Alright, can I have your attention so that we know what's happening in the next couple days? Wednesday, you have the class to make all of these decisions on your own. That doesn't mean that you can't send me emails. That doesn't mean that you can't say, hey, but the questions that I want you to start thinking through are what concept do you want to use? Who is your audience? What genre do you want to use? Those kinds of things. You have a reading log due on Wednesday, and that's that quiz one where you need to send me the results. Okay, I want to use our last couple minutes. That last question on your handout said, what are you still confused about in this project? The last question of what you filled out. Does anyone have a burning question that they're like, I'm not going to be able to do this work with my group if I don't get this question answered? All right, group one, where's group one? Do you feel like you can go off and do this work on your own? All right, guys, I'll see you next Monday.